To be pregnant with Brendan was amazing. I mean, it's not something anybody can say that they do. It's really a special, special thing, and I loved it. I loved being pregnant, and I just loved, like I say, knowing that in the end, Dan and Ellen were gonna have this beautiful baby.
I'm like, oh, this will be quick. I'll just do maybe an IUI, or they'll just put a little bit of drugs and boom, we'll have a baby. And so when it kind of just drags on month after month, it starts to take its toll. You know, the uncertainty, and then you sort of go in the cycle of hope to despair, and then back up to hope again. So you're all over the place.
I think just not knowing what the problem was. You could hear other people who had to do some stuff, but it was just like, well, it was this, so we just do this, and now you're done, right? And for us, it was just a constant, well, let's try this, nothing. Let's try this, nothing. And I think that not knowing if it'll ever happen, I think was the hardest part.
So we'd done sort of, I think it was our third in vitro, and it had taken, and we were pretty hopeful. And so we'd gotten to about 6 weeks, and they could hear the baby's heartbeat. Sorry, it still makes me a little upset. And so we started telling a few people. We told my brother and sister-in-law, Jody and Xanth, and my parents. And then we went back a week later, and the baby they basically said the baby died, and I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard. I just burst into tears. And I think I cried all the way home, and I cried in the shower, and I was just a disaster. It was devastating. There's no two ways around it.
We were just devastated for them that it was taking so long for them to have a baby, and that they were struggling, and just really sad with them when they lost the baby. I loved being pregnant. I loved having my kids, and I had them really close together. So when they were struggling, I say to Jody, well, I'll carry a baby for them. I would be great.
It was so hard to see them struggle with getting their own children, because we saw how much they enjoyed being around our children. And that certainly was a motivation in wanting to assist them in their journey to being parents.
I was so incredibly happy to be able to be part of giving them a child, and just knowing how much they wanted one. I just wanted Ellen and Dan to have a baby.
Knowing Xanth and having seen them with her own pregnancies and with the raising of the children and stuff and all that, I don't think we could have picked a better person.
No. I don't think I relaxed till the 12-week ultrasound. These guys they were great. They were my rock. They were like positive, it's gonna work, and it was just so amazing to just see the little ultrasound, the little head.
And I remember thinking at the time, I'm not ready for this. It's only been 7 years. I don't know.
I think when Brendan was born, my hope anyway was that he knew my voice, because that's a big worry, is will he bond, will he know me? And so I think that he knew my voice. And Jody used to joke he was trying to tell jokes just like Dan, so he'd, get more used to it.
He would mumble a lot just so he'd recognize my voice,
So it was really great, since I couldn't be pregnant myself, to be part of that process, to be there when you could hear the heartbeat and all the ultrasounds and everything. So that was wonderful to be part of all of that.
We recognized the importance of what this meant to Dan and Ellen. I don't think we anticipated the emotional connection that so many strangers would have to this story. So we would tell it very matter of fact, is, well, this is just what you do. I'm helping my brother out, we're giving him a baby. But other people, you started to bond with them over their reproduction issues, or family members that had trouble. And you didn't realize how common this problem is amongst people, and it's just not talked about. So this gave a chance to talk about it.
When Brendan was born, Ellen was sitting at the left of my head. There was Jody and then Ellen. And I could just see her from the corner of my eye. And you could see her come up as they were pulling Brendan out. And she made the most beautiful, joyous sound that I will never ever forget. It was just, I can't describe it. I cannot redo it. It's just, that sound is in me forever. And just her face And I just laid there, and it was so beautiful to know that it was all done. He was here.
The feeling you get, and that was what I was missing, the feeling of holding a child in my arms. When I finally held my own child, I'm like, that's what I wanted. That was what that longing was. There's no better feeling in the world, I think, than holding your child in your arms.